podcast for news, scores, bets, fantasy, and chat. It will hit you like a QB getting sacked.
Welcome to the 2300 Pick 6 podcast. I'm your host, Dave Walker, about to do another edition of When DWALK Was Right and Where DWALK Was Wrong. Well, mostly it was rights, not that many wrongs tonight. So I did very, very good this week. So the first game where I got right was Bills-Dolphins, which I got right picking the Bills. Josh Allen's 3 touchdown passes and Terrell Bernard's pick secure Bills 31-21 win over spiraling Dolphins. Buffalo Bills linebacker Terrell Bernard diagnosed the play as soon as Tua Tagovailoa dropped back in the pocket. He literally read his eyes and picked him off. For the Bills, this is nothing new to them. They beat the Dolphins God knows how many times in Buffalo. They got the win. As usual, going off on 3-0, still keeping first place in their division. And Josh Allen looking good as always. The Bills looking good as always. This is a team that, God forbid, like I said, you're going to see this team in the playoffs, which is not going to be a shocker. They're going to the playoff. But can they make it finally past the top of the AFC Championship against whomever that final opponent may be, whoever their final boss may be? I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs. Could be Baltimore, or it could be someone else. I don't know yet. We're going to wait and see what happens with the Bills down the road. As for the Dolphins, this is their third loss. This is a team, I knew they were going to lose to the Bills in this game, but it was a loss that they did not need. Now you have lost 2 games in your division. You've lost to the Patriots, and now you've lost to the Bills. And a game week 1, you shouldn't have lost to the Colts, and now you're 0-3, which is the possibility that Tyreek Hill could be traded off to maybe going back to Kansas City or someone else, and possibly Mike McDaniels getting fired. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Dolphins down the road. It's going to be very, very bleak, and I see them being sellers during the trade deadline. But a breakdown out of this game, we have Ollie Garden, 2-yard rush. Dalton Kincaid, 20-yard pass from Josh Allen. Jackson Hawes, 5-yard pass from Josh Allen. Jalen Wild, 3-yard pass from Tua Tagovailoa. James Cook, 2-yard rush. Tyreek Hill, 5-yard pass from Tua Tagovailoa. Khalil Shakir, 15-yard pass from Josh Allen. And Matt Prater, a 48-yard field goal. Leader for the Bills was Josh Allen, 213 yards, 22 of 27 for 3 touchdowns. James Cook, 19 carries, 108 yards, and 1 touchdown. Dalton Kincaid, 5 catches, 1 touchdown, 66 yards. There were no sacks by the Bills. And leading tackler was Tyron Johnson with 8 tackles and 6 solo ones. For the Bills, they play up against the New Orleans Saints. As for the Dolphins, they play the Jets on Monday Night Football. Next one in the right and wrong is, and I don't know why I'm getting that message on there, Vikings-Bengals, which I got right picking the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings sail past bumbling Bengals 48-10 in Wentz's debut pair of TDs on D by Isaiah Rodgers. Carson Wentz had some strong emotions channeling a little rusty shake-out, taking over at quarterback in Minnesota for the team he grew up rooting for. Minnesota did very, very good. Carson Wentz did very good in relief of J.J. McCarthy. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, if Carson Wentz holds down the fort and he goes 3-1 or 4-0, if I were O'Connell, I would say, you know what, J.J., learn a little bit more. Let's have Carson at the helm because he's got the hot hand. He's got me some wins. And let's see how this goes before I decide to put you back in. As for the Vikings, their defense did everything as Isaiah Rodgers did. Quote Joe Law, he wanted Isaiah Rodgers to stay in Philly. Unfortunately, he didn't. He got 2 defensive tackles. I'll talk about Eagles-Rams a little bit later on when we get to that game. But the Vikings look good in this game. As for the Bengals, their season is over due to Joe Burrow being out all the way till December, and I think their season is over. Now, if the Bengals do need to get another quarterback, I would, if I were them, make a trade with the New York Giants and trade a pick to get Russell Wilson because he is a competent backup. Don't let him just sit there with a clipboard, and I'll talk about that later on when I get the Giants-Chiefs. And this is the instance, if I were them, make a move to get Russell Wilson. But a breakdown out of this game is Josh Allen, 12-yard pass from Carson Wentz. Isaiah Rodgers, pick 6 for 87 yards. Will Reichert, 35-yard field goal. Evan McPherson, 45-yard field goal. Isaiah Rodgers, 66-yard fumble recovery on a scoop and score. Jordan Mason, 5-yard rush. Will Reichert, 60-yard field goal. Jordan Mason, 4-yard run. J.J. Hockenson, 5-yard pass from Carson Wentz. Drew Sample, 4-yard pass from Jake Browning. Leaders for the Vikings was Carson Wentz, 14 to 20, 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Mason, 16 carries, 116 yards and 2 Ds. Justin Jefferson, 5 catches for 75 yards. Sacks were by Andrew Van Ginkel, had 2 sacks. And leading tackler was Ivan Pace Jr. with 9 solo ones and 12 tackles. Next up for the Vikings is the Vikings have an early game in Dublin, Ireland against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Enjoy, because I always love those morning games. And as for the Bengals, their next game is against the Broncos on Monday Night Football. Next game that I got right in the right and wrong was Steelers-Patriots, which I got right picking Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers throws 2 touchdown passes and Steelers force 5 turnovers to beat Patriots 20-14. Aaron Rodgers doesn't think the Steelers did nearly enough with the chance they had with the ball against the Patriots. This was an ugly win for the Patriots. This is their first win over the Patriots, I think, since Tom Brady has been gone. I think their last one was 17 when it was that time they were trying to fight for a playoff spot. But this was the time that Pittsburgh got the win they needed in a division that right now is wide open for the taking due to Baltimore losing last night against Detroit. This is theirs for the taking with Aaron Rodgers. We'll see how far this goes. Can their defense get their job done, which the Steelers was known for was for defense? Can they get the job done now for New England? I know how my friend Wolf feels. He wants Drake May out of there, and I don't know if it's going to get to Dylan Gabriel or Tommy Cutlets. We'll wait and see what happens with the Patriots down the road. But a breakdown out of this game is Kenneth Gainwell, 1-yard rush. DK Metcalf, 12-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers. Hunter Henry, 5-yard pass from Drake May. Hunter Henry, 16-yard pass from Drake May. And Calvin Austin, the third, 17-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers. Leaders for the Steelers were Aaron Rodgers, 16-23, 2 touchdowns for 139 yards and an interception. Jaylen Warren, 18 carries, 47 yards. Calvin Austin, the third, 3 catches for 34 yards and 1 touchdown. TJ Watt had 2 sacks, and leading tackler was Patrick Queen with 6 solo ones and 10 tackles. For the Steelers, they play in Dublin, Ireland on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. For the New England Patriots, their next game is against the Carolina Panthers. Next one I got right in the right and wrong was Colts Titans, which I got right picking Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor's 3 touchdowns keeps Colts undefeated with 41-20 thumping of winless Titans. The Indianapolis Colts had a feeling in pregame warmth that their best start since 2009 was theirs for the taking. The Colts have been looking good, and Daniel Jones has been playing outstanding football with Jonathan Taylor, Joshua Downs, and Pittman, and the defense is getting its job done. Even though these 3 wins the Colts have gotten have been against very subpar teams. The Dolphins, which is not a good team. Denver Broncos, the jury is still out on them right now. And for the Tennessee Titans, like I said before, this is a young team. It's not going to be that very good. It's in a rebuild mode, so it's going to take some time for the Titans to get some wins. It's going to take some time with Cam Ward and with that entire offense and defense. Now, next week, the Colts do get tested. They play against the LA Rams. I think in LA, they have to go to LA for that game. So that's going to be a little bit of a test. So we're going to see is this going to be, are they for real, or is this just a fluke? We're going to wait and see how Indianapolis does. But a breakdown out of this game. Kenny Moore, the 32-yard interception return for a pick 6. Joey Sly, 57-yard field goal. Spencer Schrader, 24-yard field goal. Jonathan Taylor, 1-yard rush. Joey Sly, 42-yard field goal. Spencer Schrader, 36-yard field goal. Michael Pittman Jr., 20-yard pass from Daniel Jones. Tony Pollard, 1-yard rush. Jonathan Taylor, 46-yard touchdown. Alec Ayamore, 8-yard pass from Cam Ward. Jonathan Taylor, 1-yard rush. Leaders for the Colts, Daniel Jones, 18-25, 228 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 17 carries, 102 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 catches, 73 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading sacker for the Colts was Tyquan Lewis with 2 sacks, and leading tackler for the Colts was Zaire Franklin, 4 solo ones and 7 tackles. For the Colts, they play against the LA Rams. I think, is it in LA or is it at home? Oh, they have to go to LA, so it's in LA. So they have to go to LA for that one. For the Titans, their next game is against the Houston Texans. Next one I got right in the right and wrong is Texans-Jaguars, which I got right picking the Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr. comes up big late as the Jaguars send the Texans 0-3 with a 17-10 victory. Brian Thomas Jr. was so frustrated by his latest drop and the ensuing booze that he slammed his helmet into the ground near the bench. And after that, got the game-winning score. Before I go into Jag, I'm going to say right now, out of this whole podcast this season, I think Tony Khan's going to be safe with me. I have nothing to bash him on, and I know this is my football podcast, but All Out was very, very good, Tony. You did a lot of things that I didn't expect. I did not expect Chris Statlander to be the women's champ. There were a lot of returns, and you lived up to what you said, putting the first pay-per-view on HBO Max. Very, very good so far. Keep it up. I got nothing to trash you on, my man. Still doing good, and I can't wait to see when we get the full gear. I'll be there. But very, very good. I have nothing to trash you on so far. So we'll wait and see what your announcement is on Dynamite. I'm hoping what it is, but I know there's a possibility you're going to fool me, and I think what I know it's not, because I think it might be Britt returning in Pittsburgh. I think your announcement might be. But if you fool me, please, I hope this is the one time you do swerve me and I swerve myself. But back to football here. The Jags have now been looking good. They're 2-1. They're got to fight with Indianapolis, who are 3-0 right now. They're doing very well. Can they keep this up momentum going? They have their next game against the San Francisco 49ers. Now for Houston, I didn't expect them to go 0-3. I thought at least maybe they'd be 1-2 by now. But right now, this right now is not looking good for them. C.J. Stroud's not been looking good. I know they have a lot of injuries, and they just released C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now there's the possibility that somebody could pick him up. I don't know whom. But right now, it's not going very, very good for the Houston Texans. I didn't expect it to be this bad so far. But a breakdown out of this game. Byshawn Tootin, 1-yard rush. Kami Fairbairn, 27-yard field goal. Cam Little, 39-yard field goal. Nico Collins, 50-yard pass from C.J. Stroud. Travis Etienne Jr., 10-yard rush. Leaders for the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, 20 of 40, 222 yards and an interception. Travis Etienne Jr., 16 carries, 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Brenton Strange was the leading receiver. 6 catches for 61 yards. 1 sacked by Trayvon Walker, and leading tackler for the Jaguars, Tyson Campbell, with 7 tackles on his own. The Jaguars play against the 49ers at home. I think they're at home, or they're in San Fran. They play against the 49ers in San Francisco. They have to go to San Fran. And for the Texans, they play up against the Tennessee Titans. Next game I got in right and wrong, which is my first wrong of the night. Falcons-Panther, which I got wrong, picking the Atlanta Falcons. Panthers dominate Falcons 30-0 for first win of the season. Bryce Young framed for a touchdown. Chalu Smith-Wade returned an interception, 11 yards for a score. And rookie Ryan Fitzgerald made 3 field goals. And the Carolina Panthers routed the Atlanta Falcons 30-0 on Sunday for their first win of the season. I really thought Atlanta was going to win this game, and I thought it was going to be a battle between these two because Atlanta and Carolina do play each other close. But out of this one, Carolina looked good. They dominated in this game. And they won 30-0. Bryce Young had an outstanding performance, and I have nothing against it. Very good job, young sir. Keep it going. Can you get this momentum? Because you have other games here. You still have a long way to go to prove you're not a bust. Just this one game doesn't show it. For Atlanta, I have nothing that I could use right now. I didn't expect him to get shut out. I'm just a little disappointed in Michael Penix because I'm looking at week 1. You almost try to make a comeback against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we see this flash of greatness a little bit. Week 2, we don't see the flash, and now we don't even see the flash again. It's like, well, what's going on here? And I know Atlanta has a very bad coach, and I know Raheem Morris is not the best of all coaches. You then release Younghoe Koo for this new kicker, Franklin Romo, and he missed all these kicks. And right now, I don't know what Atlanta's going to be doing right now down the road. It's going to be very, very tough for them. But a breakdown out of this game, all Carolina actually, so it's a breakdown of all Carolina here. Bryce Young, 4-yard rush. Ryan Fitzgerald, 57-yard field goal. Chalu Smith-Wade, 11-yard interception return for a pick 6. Ryan Fitzgerald, 35-yard field goal. Rico Dowell, 1-yard rush. Ryan Fitzgerald, 41-yard field goal. Leaders for the Panthers, it was Bryce Young, 16-24, 121 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries, 73 yards. Tatora McMillan, 3 catches, 48. There were no sacks by the Panthers, and leading tackler Christian Roseboom with 9 tackles and 6 solo ones. For the Carolina Panthers, they play the New England Patriots. Do they have to go to New England, or is it in Carolina? They have to go to New England, and as for the Falcons, they play at home against the Washington Commanders. Next game that I got right and wrong was Eagles-Rams, which I got right, picking the Eagles. Jordan Davis seals Eagles 33-26 thrilling win over Rams with Philly's second block field goal of fourth quarter. Jordan Davis clutched the ball in his outstretched right hand as he reached the end zone and had no choice but to freeze and meet the mob of Eagles sprinting his way. Eagles, I almost thought they lost this game, but they did not. They came back and won this game blocking 2 field goals. This is what the good teams do, even if it's ugly. This is how you win games regardless of how they are. This is what good teams do. And this is why the Eagles are my Super Bowl pick, one of my 4 Super Bowl picks. And they're proving it every week why they are one of my 4 Super Bowl picks. The defense gets the job done. The special teams gets the job done. The offense did start off a little shaky, and I'm going to admit to that while watching this whole game. They did start off a little shaky. They kept going to the run game, then they finally got the passing game intact with A.J. Brown and everybody else. But it took some time, and then they got it done, which they needed. Now, They have a tough one against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Now, I'll decide who I'm going to make my pick on that tomorrow. I'll talk about that game more in depth. But it's going to be very tough. They have their very tough test next week. Another undefeated team. And this time they have to go on the road to Tampa. As for the Rams almost came back and tried to win this game with Stafford going to Puka Nacua a lot. The game going to Devontae Adams. But Joshua Carty got blocked twice. Did not prepare thinking he was going to get blocked twice. And then they lost the game suffering their first loss. Now, they have a bounce-back game, which I think they will bounce back against the Indianapolis Colts. I'll talk about that game more in depth tomorrow. But breakdown out of this game. Jalen Hurts, 1-yard rush. Joshua Carty, 51-yard field goal. Devontae Adams, 44-yard pass from Matthew Stafford. Joshua Carty, 28-yard field goal. Joshua Carty, 33-yard field goal. Joshua Carty, 46-yard field goal. Kyron Williams, 10-yard rush from 10-yard pass from Matthew Stafford. Dallas Goedert, 33-yard pass from Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown, 9-yard pass from Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith, 4-yard pass from Jalen Hurts. 2-point conversion failed. Block kick recovered by Jordan Davis. 61-yard field goal return. Leaders for the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, 21-32, 3 touchdowns, 226 yards. Saquon Barkley, 18 carries, 46 yards. A.J. Brown, 6 catches, 109 yards, and 1 TD. Leading sacker was Jordan Davis with 1 sack. Leading tackler Cooper DeJean with 9 tackles and 5 solos. For the Eagles, they go to Tampa. For the Rams, they are back at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Next game I got right and wrong was Jets-Buccaneers, which I got right, picking the Bucs. Baker Mayfield leads undefeated Buccaneers to another thrilling victory, 29-27 over winless Jets. Baker Mayfield led the Buccaneers to another thrilling finish, ensuring Tampa Bay's best start in 20 years. Tampa has not been 3-0 for a while. This is their best start in a while. Baker's been playing very good football. The Bucs have been, and right now they've been winning these close games. It's going to be a little tough next week when they play against Philadelphia, when I talk about that more in depth tomorrow. But this is a game that they needed to win, even though that their kicker did get blocked once. But McLaughlin did not get blocked the second time and won the game that was needed. And I'm going to say this on Tampa. Eventually, when they get Chris Godwin back from injury, watch out and see how this receiving core is going to be with Evans, Emeka, and him. It's going to be very, very tough. And you still have that 1-2 combination with Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. So it's going to be very, very good with them down the road. But we'll wait and see. For the Jets, came up close, could not get the job done, and let the Bucs come back. Did not let them off the hook. And let them win that game and come back. But a breakdown out of this game. Nick Folk, 38-yard field goal. Chase McLaughlin, 54-yard field goal. Nick Folk, 42-yard field goal. Mike Evans, 5-yard pass from Baker Mayfield. Chase McLaughlin, 33-yard field goal. Jamel Dean, 55-yard interception return for a pick 6. Chase McLaughlin, 28-yard field goal. Garrett Wilson, 11-yard pass from Tyrod Taylor. Chase McLaughlin, 55-yard field goal. Alan Lazard, 4-yard pass from Tyrod Taylor. Block kick recovered by Will McDonald, the 4th. 50-yard return. Chase McLaughlin with the game-winning field goal. Dang it. Let's go back. We were on Jets Bucs. There we go. Leaders for the Bucs was Baker Mayfield, 19-29, 233 yards and a touchdown. Bucky Irving, 25 carries for 66 yards. Emeka Egbia, 6 catches for 85 yards. Leading sacker was Levante David with one sack, and leading tackler was Levante David with 7 solo tackles and 11 tackles. For the Bucs, they play the Eagles at home. For the Jets, they play up against the Miami Dolphins. I think in Miami on Monday Night Football. Let me check. That game is in Miami. Next game that I got right and wrong was Raiders Commanders, which I got right picking the Commanders. Marcus Mariota and a reconfigured Commanders offense run past the Raiders 41-24 with so many changes to the starting offense, either because of injuries such as Jaden Daniels and Austin Eckler, or coaching decisions seeking improvement after a bad loss. The Washington Commanders needed a bit of help from everyone, and they got it, and they got the win they needed. And Mariota looked good in relief for Jaden Daniels due to Jaden being injured. I don't know if Jaden's going to be playing next week. I don't know who the Commanders play. I'll check that when I get done this recap. But they look good with the offense, the defense, and everybody got a win that was needed. Geno Smith did not look good in this game. Looked like shit in this game. The Raiders did not do good, thinking that they would get an easy win over Marcus Mariota, which they did not. For them, it's going to be a little bit tough with their schedule down the road. But a breakdown out of this game. Marcus Mariota, 2-yard rush. Daniel Carlson, 37-yard field goal. Matt Gay, 46-yard field goal. Trey Tucker, 10-yard pass from Geno Smith. Jerry McNichols, 60-yard rush. Matt Gay, 56-yard field goal. Jalen Lane, 90-yard punt return. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, 1-yard rush. Trey Tucker, 10-yard pass from Geno Smith, 2-point run conversion failed. Trey Tucker, 61-yard pass from Geno Smith. Smith passed to Brock Broward for 2-point conversion was successful. Luke McCaffrey, 43-yard pass from Marcus Mariota. Leaders for the Commanders, Marcus Mariota, 15-21, 207 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, 4 carries, 78 yards and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin's 3 catches for 74 yards. Bobby Wagner, 2 tackles, 2 sacks, and he was the leading tackler, 11 tackles and 6 solo ones. For the Commanders, they play against the Falcons at home in Atlanta. They play against the Falcons in Atlanta. As for the Raiders, they play up against the Chicago Bears in LA. Next game in the right and wrong, which I got wrong, was Browns-Packers, which I got wrong, picking the Packers. Andre Smith's 55-yard field goal as time expires rallies Browns a 13-10 victory over the Packers. Andre Smith has gone from being nearly run of town to being one of the most popular Browns players in Cleveland. Cleveland got their first ring in a shocking upset over the Packers, which I did not predict, and nobody would have predicted. I thought that Green Bay was going to win this game, but Green Bay did not. The field goal got blocked. Jordan Love, I think, threw an interception. But this is what happens on the term of any given Sunday. This occurred of any given Sunday where Cleveland got the win, which was needed. They're not going to go. I thought that they would be. I didn't think winless. I thought maybe 1 or 2, 3 wins here. But they got the job done, got the win over a tough team. And like I said, I still think Detroit was going to win that division. And now we're going to see how Green Bay does down the road with Micah Parsons. Now, I know the Packers play against my Cowboys, and they're coming in very, very pissed off. And I do not think Dallas is going to win that game, and I'll talk about that next week. On tomorrow. We'll wait and see. As for Cleveland, can they build off of this win when they have to play? Oh, the Detroit line. No, they're not going to build off. They're going to get killed by Detroit. So we'll wait and see what occurs between Cleveland down the road. But breakdown of this game, there was no scoring in the first quarter. Brandon McMahon's 39-yard field goal. John Fitzpatrick, 3-yard pass from Jordan Love. Andre Smith's 35-yard field goal. Quinshawn Judkins, 1-yard rush. Andre Smith, 55-yard field goal for the win. Leaders for the Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco, 21-36, 142 yards and an interception. Quinshawn Judkins, 18 carries, 94 yards and 1 touchdown. David Njoku, 5 catches for 40 yards. Malik Collins, 1.5 sacks. And leading tackler was Carson Schweisinger, 7 solo tackles and 10 tackles. For Cleveland, they have to go to Detroit. For the Packers, they play against Dallas on Sunday Night Football in Dallas. Next one in the right and wrong is Broncos-Chargers, which I got right, picking the Chargers. Justin Herbert rallies Chargers for 23-20 win over Broncos and 3-0 start. Keenan Allen wasn't catching Justin Herbert's throws early. The veteran wide receiver made a play when it mattered most. The Chargers have surprised me right now being 3-0, and this was Joe Law's sleeper team, and I see why they were his sleeper team. Doing very, very good. Like I said, I didn't expect them to get a win against the Chiefs. I expect them to get wins over Denver and the Las Vegas Raiders. Those are wins they were. Now you're 3-0 in your own division. You don't have a division loss. Can you keep this momentum going? Because next week, Sunday, you play against a non-divisional opponent and a non-conference opponent. You play against the New York Giants, who are going to start Jackson Dart, and I'll talk about that more when we get to Giants-Chiefs. But this was a win that they needed, proving their momentum. This is not a fluke, and I'm hoping they can keep this momentum going. I want to see them keep it going. I don't want to be saying, same old Charge, and they Charger the game. I want to see them keep this going. I'm very proud of them, and they're doing a damn good job in this. Now, as for the Denver Broncos, right now, you could be 2-0. You could be 2-1 right now. You should be. If you would not have lost that game to the Colts with that leverage penalty, right now you're 1-2, and right now you're tied up there in second with the Kansas City Chiefs. And right now, this division is not somewhat wide open yet because we don't know what's going to happen. Now, is Kansas City going to bounce back down the road? We don't know yet. We'll wait and see what's going to happen with the Chiefs. But we'll see what occurred with the LA Chargers. But a breakdown of this game. Cameron Dicker, 32-yard field goal. Omarion Hampton, 30-yard rush. Cortland Sutton, 52-yard pass from Bo Nix. J.K. Dobbins, 19-yard rush. Will Lutz, 42-yard field goal. Cameron Dicker, 24-yard field goal. Will Lutz, 26-yard field goal. Keenan Allen, 20-yard pass from Justin Herbert. Cameron Dicker, 43-yard field goal for, I think that was for the win. Leaders for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, 28-47, 1 touchdown and interception, 300 yard. Omarion Hampton, 19 carries, 70 yards for a touchdown. Quentin Johnson, 6 catches, 89 yard. Leading sacker was Derwin James Sr. with 1 sack. And leading tackler was Derwin James Jr. with 10 tackles and 12 tackles. Their first Chargers' next game is against the Giants in MetLife. Do they have to go to MetLife or is it in LA? Oh, it's in MetLife. So they have to go to New York. As for the Denver Broncos, their next game is against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Next one in the right and wrong I got was Seahawks Saints, which I got right picking Seattle. Torrey Holt returns punt 95 yards for a score and his touchdown catch, and Seahawks 44-13 routed Saints. Torrey Holton felt like a kid when he backpedaled and fielded a New Orleans punt deep in Seattle territory. Seattle got the win it was needed. The New Orleans, we know, is not a good team. It's a rebuild team. They're trying to find their first win. They got a new coach. They got a new quarterback. They're trying to rebuild, and they're searching for a win, trying to build an identity for themselves. Now, for Seattle, can they keep this momentum going? Can they try to play a spoiler and a sleeper of somewhat against the 49ers, against the Rams, which I'm shocked I have to say the 49ers are actually doing good right now, because the 49ers are leading the division right now. Can they try to catch? We'll wait and see down the road, even though they did lose to the 49ers week 1, but they have another matchup down there with the road against them later on in the season. We'll wait and see what Seattle can do. Can Seattle make a little noise and try to do that? But we'll wait and see what occurs. As for the New Orleans Saints, like I said before, this is a team that's in rebuild. It's going to take some time. They have a new coach and a new quarterback. I'm not saying that team is going to go winless, but they may get some wins here and there, but we'll wait and see what occurs with the New Orleans Saints. But a breakdown out of this game. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 12-yard pass from Sam Darnold. Torrey Horton, 95-yard punt return. Kenneth Walker, the third, 3-yard rush. Blake Group, 27-yard field goal. Torrey Horton, 14-yard pass from Sam Darnold. Kenneth Walker, the third, 1-yard rush. Jason Myers, 56-yard field goal. Blake Group, 23-yard field goal. Jason Myers, 46-yard field goal. Jason Myers, 37-yard field goal. Jack Stoll, 13-yard pass from Spencer Rattler. Leaders for the Seahawks: Sam Darnold, 14-18, 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, the third, 16 carries, 2 touchdowns for 38 yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 5 catches, 1 touchdown for 96-yard leading receiver. Leading sacker was Byron Murphy, the second, with 1 sack, and leading tackler was Josh Joby with 9 solo tackles and 11 tackles. For the Seahawks, they play against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football in Arizona. For the Saints, their next opponent is against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. Next game I got right and wrong was Cardinals 49, which I got wrong picking the Arizona Cardinals. Panero's last second field goal lifts 49ers to thrilling 16-15 win over Cardinals. The San Francisco 49ers had lost another star to an injury, giving up a fourth-quarter lead on a safety, and were relying on a backup quarterback and a brand-new kicker to maintain their perfect start to the season. Right now, Mac Jones has literally held the fort down for the 49ers, getting 2 wins so far. Now, I don't know exactly when Purdy does come back, and I'm not saying that Mac Jones is going to overtake Purdy's job. No, because all that money they spent on Purdy, they're going to have to put Purdy back in eventually, because eventually, once they do get back to full strength, once you get Purdy back, once you get George Kittle back eventually. Right now, you suffered a key loss in Nick Bosa, who is out for the season with a torn ACL, so it's going to be a little tough for their defense down the road, but we're going to wait and see how the 49ers do. As for the Arizona Cardinals, I didn't think this is a game that they were going to lose. I thought that they were going to win this game, but it looks like I don't know what the Cardinals are doing. It's a little bit confusing with them. You don't know what Cardinals team you're going to get. You're going to get a good one or you're going to get a bad one. But we'll wait and see. Can they use Marvin Harrison Jr. the right way? I don't know what's going to happen with Arizona down the road. But a breakdown out of this game. There was no scoring in the first quarter. Chad Reeland, 34-yard field goal. Eddie Pinheiro, 38-yard field goal. Eddie Pinheiro, 51-yard field goal. Chad Reeland, 28-yard field goal. Kyle Juszczyk, 1-yard pass from Mac Jones. Trey McBride, 1-yard pass from Kyler Murray. Defensive holding an end zone for safety for the Arizona Cardinals. They got a safety. Eddie Pinheiro, 35-yard field goal for the win. Leaders for the 49ers. Mac Jones, 27-41, 284 yards, 1 touchdown and interception. Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries, 52 yards. Ricky Pearsall, 8 catches, 117 yards. Bryce Huff, 1 sack. And Frank Warner, 5 solo tackles and 11 tackles. For the 49ers, they play against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. For the Cardinals, they play on Thursday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks at home. Next game I got right and wrong was Cowboys-Bears, which I got wrong picking the Dallas Cowboys. Caleb Williams ties career high with 4 touchdown passes. Ben Johnson gets first wing as Bears beat Cowboys. Ben Johnson just presented game balls to Caleb Williams and Tremont Edmonds in a raucous locker room. There was one more to give. Out of this game, the Bears literally won us with turnovers, and I'll say the first one that happens was when I think Tremont Williams literally fumbled the ball out of Javonte Williams' hand, which was the turning point in the game. CeeDee Lamb got injured for the Cowboys running, which he should not be running, and he's going to be probably out for this Sunday's game against the Packers. I'm going to go more in the Bears, and I'll get on the Cowboys. For the Bears, this was a win that they needed to try to keep pace with the Detroit Lions. Now, can they build off of this and try to keep that momentum going? We'll wait and see when they play against the Raiders this Sunday. Caleb Williams looked good in that game because the Cowboys' defense did not look good. They made Caleb Williams look like literally out of the 85 Bears quarterback, whoever their best quarterback was. You let a lot of trick plays go, which was the flea flicker, leaving guys wide open. The defense for the Cowboys has not been good, and I'm going to say that right now. Trayvon Diggs has been a shell of himself ever since he got that contract. And I can say, yeah, Micah being there even though Micah getting traded, but Micah being there, it left a piece of it. And that defense is not that good right now because you're letting a lot of quarterback runs, you're letting a lot of rushes, and the secondary has been getting pushed poor. And you're saying you're going to make a change, Shoddy. I want to see what this change is, if there's going to be improvement, or is this just going to regress? I think it's going to regress even more. And like I said before, yes, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I said that this was going to be a hell season, and I was already prepared for a bad season with or without Micah. Without Micah, I'm going to say right now the bare minimum I'm going to give the Cowboys wins is probably somewhere between 5 to 7 wins. I already said they were not making playoffs or winning the division, and I'm still going to stick by my word and what I said. But a breakdown out of this game. Romo Dunze, 35-yard pass from Caleb Williams. Brandon Aubrey, 53-yard field goal. Luther Burden, the third, 65-yard pass from Caleb Williams. Brandon Aubrey, 33-yard field goal. George Pickens, 2-yard pass from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott to Jalen Tolbert for 2-point conversion. Cairo Santos, 30-yard field goal. Cole Kmet, 10-yard pass from Caleb Williams. DJ Moore, 3-yard pass from Caleb Williams, and no scoring in the fourth quarter. Leaders for the Bears was Caleb Williams, 19-28, 298 yards and 4 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 33 yards. Luther Burden, the third, 3 catches, 1 touchdown for 101 yards. Montez Sweat, 1 sack, and Tremont Edwards, 6 solo tackles and 15 tackles. For the Bears, they play against the Raiders on Sunday. As for the Cowboys, they play against the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Next game I got right and wrong was Chiefs-Giants, which I got right picking the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs beat the Giants 22-9 for their first win this season. Mistakes and penalties threatened to derail the Kansas City Chiefs again early in the season that had not been going their way. Patrick Mahomes made a couple himself. This was not the Chiefs' best win. It was an ugly win, but wins are not easy to come by, so you can take your wins any way you can get them. You're going to need them as best you can. I really thought the Giants were going to cover the spread. They did not. The Chiefs got the win, which it was needed in a division. Right now you have the Chargers at 3-0 right now. And right now it gets a little tougher for them next week on Sunday when they have to play the Ravens at home. I don't know who's going to win that. I'll wait and see when I cross that bridge tomorrow and who I make my pick on. But the Chiefs needed this win, even though everything was not going their way. You had Mahomes throwing backward passes. You had Travis Kelce arguing with Andy Reid. But literally, they needed this win as best they can to try to keep pace. Now, I'm saying I don't know if they're going to win their division, but I still think they may make playoffs as a wild card, either as a 5 or a 6. We'll wait and see what happens with the Chiefs down the road. As for the Giants, the Russell Wilson experiment has ended. They are now going to start Jackson Dart this Sunday against the LA Chargers. So we'll see what he can do because Russ did not look good because everybody thought, oh, you're going to get the Russ what happened when he played against the Cowboys. That did not occur because Russ did not look good. He kept throwing a lot of deep balls that weren't going anywhere, and he didn't look good in this game. But a breakdown out of this game. Harrison Butker, 54-yard field goal. Harrison Butker, 48-yard field goal. Cam Scatterbo, 13-yard rush. Jamie Gillian, PAT, was blocked. Harrison Butker, 28-yard field goal. Tyquan Thornton, 5-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes. Graham Gano, 25-yard field goal. Kareem Hunt, 1-yard pass. Leaders for the Chiefs were Patrick Mahomes, 22 of 37, 1 touchdown, 224 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 10 carries, 45 yards. Tyquan Thornton, 5 catches, 1 touchdown, 71 yards. Chris Jones, 1 sack. And leading tackler was Nick Bolton with 14 tackles and 6 solo ones. For the Chiefs, they play at home against the Baltimore Ravens. As for the Giants, they play at home against the LA Chargers. Last game of the right and wrong was Lions-Ravens, which I got wrong, picking the Ravens. Lions run over the Ravens, sack Lamar Jackson 7 times in a 38-30 win over Baltimore. Punishing all night and tricky when they had to be, the Detroit Lions battered the Baltimore Ravens with a performance that epitomized everything they've become under Coach Dan Campbell. I literally thought they were going to lose in Baltimore, Detroit, because it's not easy to win in Baltimore at home. If that game would have been in Detroit, I would have took Detroit. But Detroit is looking like how they were last year without Ben Johnson. You still have the same trick plays. You still have the same weapons. Utilizing that offense with Jared Goff, with the 1-2 combination of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and St. Laporta not just yet. It's still a little early. You got to wait to get him a little bit building this. But that defense did very, very good, sacking Lamar Jackson 6 times. Now, as I said before, this is one of my 4 Super Bowl picks. And I'm going to say this now, and I know this is early in the season, but I'm going to say it now. I think the NFC Championship will either be Detroit and Philadelphia, pending location. I don't know where it's going to be. Is it either going to be in Philly or Detroit? But we'll wait. We cross that bridge when I talk playoffs, and we cross that bridge with that matchup down the road when we get there. But I can see this right now, how Detroit has been playing right now. Like I said, that Week 1 loss, I think, was just rust. They didn't look like themselves, and it was just Week 1. But right now, they're proving, hey, it was just Week 1, and they're getting back to what they were. As for Baltimore, a shocking loss I didn't expect them to have. I thought that they would pull this off. I thought Lamar was going to do good using his legs, airing the ball out, going to Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry fumbled at a worse time, and literally after that turnover, Detroit did not stop, and they literally won this game hands down. But a breakdown out of this game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 1-yard rush. Derrick Henry, 28-yard rush. David Montgomery, 1-yard rush. Rashad Bateman, 3-yard pass to Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews, 14-yard pass to Lamar Jackson. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 18-yard pass from Jared Goff. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4-yard rush. Tyler Luke, 41-yard field goal. Jake Bates, 45-yard field goal. David Montgomery, 31-yard rush. Mark Andrews, 27-yard pass to Lamar Jackson. 2-point conversion failed. Leaders for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff, 20 of 28, 1 touchdown. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Leading sacker was Alquan Muhammad with 2.5 sacks. And leading tackler was Jack Campbell with 8 tackles on his own. Detroit plays against the Cleveland Browns at home on Sunday, and Baltimore plays against the Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, it's been enough time for talk. It's just been enough time for talk. It's time for kickoff. I'm Dave Walker, and we'll see you on the field. Goodbye, everybody. See you tomorrow.